Okay, so I'm just going to really quickly do this topo surface, hopefully for the last time. And so I've already got the drawing file set up in this site with DWG. And if you haven't done that already, just make sure you copy and paste from the ground floor with DWG file in my file that I've given you, Redfern existing. You can simply select that, copy to clipboard, and then if you haven't already, copy the site view and on the modified tab, paste align to current view to bring it in. So that's something, I mean, if you aren't sure about that, have a go at doing it on your own anyway, because it's an important thing to be able to copy and paste things from one view to another and get them lined up like that. So then I'm just going to go right ahead and do my topo surface. So on massing and site, topo surface. And then the elevation there, you can see I've already set to -50, but if you haven't done that, make sure you change the elevation there. And then 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to give me a surface. Tick to finish. And now I'm going to go right ahead to make the sub-region. So really important, not split surface, has to be sub-region. And they are similar. Then pick lines. I'm going to use to simply pick the edges that I have from the AutoCAD file. So honestly, you could just trace the walls and other things you've drawn, and you'll get something very close to this without the AutoCAD file there. But again, it just is a good thing to try the AutoCAD reference. So I'll finish that now and just show you that in the 3D view, it's a different surface. I'll worry about the material afterwards, so I'm going to go back to my site with DWG view and then do another sub-region. Now, I already have reference planes that I've put in at different measurements. So if you have to add those, I'll just put the dimensions on there for you so you can see them with aligned dimensions there. You see the first one is about 4 metres. Doesn't have to be too precise, it's just for the pavement or the footpath. And then the next one is about 14 metres. Well, you can see I'm at 13 metres. Again, it doesn't really matter, it's just indicative of the road. So then using pick lines, I'll pick my reference planes there, just the two that I want to make this new boundary, and then drawing a line at the top and the bottom to connect those. That will leave me with a rectangle. Okay, so tick to finish again, and you'll see it'll finish it at the edge of your site. And then again, another sub-region, and again I'll use pick lines to pick these reference planes. Drawing a line, then I can cap them off. Tick to finish, and now in 3D I can see the different surfaces that I need, and I'll go and do all the materials. So I'll start with this one at the back. I want that to be a road surface, so I'm going to select it, and well, I'll do the main road at the same time. They'll both be the same material, so with control, select that road, and then in properties I have the material, which I can change there from by category, hitting browse. Now I already have these materials made, so I might just go through one more time to just remind you if you haven't made your own materials for a while. To duplicate or to start with a new material, it's best to duplicate an existing one by right-clicking on it, going to duplicate, give it a new name. So I'll call this site road asphalt, or asphalt road maybe is better. No, I'll put the material last. So site road asphalt. And then under appearance, to change that, it's best to go to, again, right-click on the tab, replace, and then choose the one you want from the appearance library. So the appearance folder here on the left, you can expand that and go to the different subcategories like site work. And so I'll just choose material here. The aggregate isn't too bad as well as the asphalt. So any of those will be okay. Just so that it's different, I'll go for aggregate high this time. And okay, so that's a nice dark one. And then I'll close this and you can see it's got that more asphalt-like appearance. Yep. That's it. So the only other option there, apart from loading in the new appearance, is to go back to graphics and make sure you've got use render appearance so that the color changes. You can turn that off afterwards and then adjust the color further. I'm going to make it a bit lighter. And that's it. So okay. And then if I click to one side, you can see it's got my new road material. Now this is in realistic, so that's showing the render material, which is quite dark. But if I go back to shaded, you'll see the shaded color which I chose, which is a bit lighter. So I'll just do the pavement as well. So this one here, I'll again in properties, browse to change the material. I already have a site pavement material that I've made, site pavement there, and the appearance I've set just to asphalt 3, which is this concrete looking material. And then again checking the shaded color. So again, after I've picked up the render color, I'll turn it off, change the shading color there to one that's a bit lighter. Okay, alright, so there we are, and that'll be fine to begin with. And then in the plan, I'll just go to the original site plan now, which I can have shaded, and I'll just quickly put in some site components. So with parking component, you can get those things like parking spaces, which can be useful. That's the simplified version. If you go to course, from course to fine, it'll give you more detail. And then in site components, you'll find the trees, a lot of them already preloaded, like the deciduous ones and some others. So I'll just get some random trees here for the street. And some cars wouldn't hurt, so back into site component we can use for that, load family, and then if you're wondering where the cars live, they're in entourage. And so we've got a few different cars there. The Beetle's a good one. And now a little trick here. I know that if it doesn't come up in properties, it means I've loaded it already. So if you don't see it come up after you load a family, just remember it's most likely because you've loaded it previously, and so you'll be able to find it in the list in your type selector. There it is, RPC Beetle. So just place that in there. And maybe a couple on the street. So I'll go to load family and back to entourage. And in vehicles there are some more. So the maybe get a truck or something this time. So the van. Can have that on the street, so space to rotate, and just get something. And again, maybe just a few more vehicles, so sports car or something. And so I'll just place that on the street. Move this one over a bit. Okay, so that when you do a perspective, let's make a camera view there, looking towards the building. Maybe I'll adjust that view a bit. So I'll just use the steering wheel to do that, and we'll, oops. I'll rewind that view. That's gone a bit too far. So just using walk to go forward a bit there, pan to bring it over, and look to change the angle. Now if I go to a realistic shaded view, then it'll give me a better idea about the trees and things like that, and that's a good way to start setting up your views for later. So I'll finish that there and give some time to do that.